Hey guys and gals, it's Jilly Beans here, and I am here today to talk to you about dreadlocks, and about how to make dreadlocks, and about how to just start them on straight hair. And I like to use the back combing method. So I'll give you some tips and tricks today about how to get dreadlocks started, and how I made mine. I've had mine for about 6 years now, and they're super fun. And really easy, and they feel really good on my head. And so a while ago I started practicing on my guest here. It's creepy, isn't it? I saw one of these in the back of my neighbor's car. I didn't realize it was a mannequin for like the first couple seconds. I was like, what the? Oh, right, just a mannequin head. Anyways, so we'll call her Betty. And I've started on some of her hair earlier just because it was fun. I enjoy doing it. So I like to call my method the gentle dread method, which is kind of like not instant dreadlocks. Like, you can really make, when you first get dreadlocks, you can make them really tight and like look like instant dreadlocks if you want. Takes a lot more time for sure. Or the way I do it is more like just get the knots in and then let them lock in after some time, time and maintenance, and then they just lock up more and more as time passes. So the most important part, first of all, is to decide if you want them everywhere on your head, or some people just get them underneath to start with. It's a good place to start, is just like maybe the back of your head, because you can brush them out still. If you get them in, you don't like them, you can brush them out. But if you commit to your whole head, then you have a whole hair to brush out if you don't like it. But it's nice. I would recommend committing to the back sections of the hair first. Unless you're all in, that's great too. So sectioning is a major part of dreadlocks. We can go over that at a different time. I just thought I was going to show you the actual method of back combing first. So yeah, spacing is really important to think about. You have to get some foundational things done, which I'm not going to show you in this video. I'm just going to basically just show you how to do it. But there's definitely some things you want to think about before you just start doing it. And that was one thing I learned my second head of dreads. The first one was pretty messy and stuff, which was fine for the time, but the second time it was more methodical, and I thought about it more, considered what I was doing, and I'm glad I did, because once you get them in there, they're stuck in there, so you want to make sure it's the right size and the right, how big and fat and thin and where, and different kinds of spacings and different things to think about, because it is not permanent, obviously, but more permanent than like a little hairstyle you get at a salon or something. So let's just see. Here we go. Here's Betty with her dreads. And we'll start on this part over here. You could also start in the back of the head, that's what I like. But we're going to just, the way I do it, I'm not all methodical on how I part the hair. Some people part it like in like diagonals and stuff. I just kind of let the hair tell me what it wants to do in a way. So I'm going to do a relatively thinner one. So the first thing you want to do is brush your hair. First you want to wash your hair the night before or whatever. Make sure it's dry. And then brush it out so you don't have to handle this mess, because untangling hurts. Better have a relatively thick, or not thick skull. I guess you can have a thick skull. But a head that will get used to getting, it's a lot of pulling. So sensitive heads are hard. It's going to be hard. I've even heard people taking like Tylenol or something before they go in. But basically here, let's see. So you just take a little section, see? And you want to make sure, like, I don't do it really methodical, but I just take what belongs, kind of, like that. And I mean, I don't personally like it to be like exact and perfect, but that's just me. And then you just take the comb and just back comb a little bit. I start at the top. Just go slow at first. Just start getting those knots formed. You can go on different sides of the hair. And then just keep going down, keep going all over the place. And if it's not knotting up, you can go a little bit farther up the hair and make knots. And then those knots you can push down. Just push them down. And I'm just kind of doing really quick, like in, down, in, down, in, down, in, down. Like, there's really quick ones like that. to get those. Oh, I hope I don't have to take this. Oh, I do. I gotta go. Okay, so where were we? I think we were doing Betty's dreadlock back here. Lots happened since last time I took a video. Alright, so here we go. Back here at the head. Get a good viewpoint of it. I think that's pretty good. And what I've just been doing is back combing. So this is a little bit thicker here, like it's knotted. So you're just basically just pushing the hair in knots backwards. And if that's not going to get you much knots, but if you go up here, you start up here and start making those knots. I just keep flattening out the hair because you don't want it to be like a matted mess like that. You don't want it to have a bunch of like, so you want to just pull that down until it's not loopy, and then just keep pushing it back. And the more knots, you go on the different sides. Just push it back nice and slow, and then you want to go back up at the roots and just really push those knots down as far as your scalp can really take it, because some people have a more sensitive head, and it definitely, there's a lot of pulling going on, a lot of pushing at the same time, and if it gets close to the scalp, it can make it uncomfortable for the weak of head. But I'm just like pushing all the knots down, like right here. See how right there it's like a little gap? You just go down there and push the knots down, and then there's no gap there anymore. So then you just push that knots down. And you just basically want like a dense pack of knots is what you want. And see? So I'm just using all these knots from up here. I'm using them to push them down so they're like dense. So there you go. I mean, there you go. You can see that it's partially formed, right? Which reminds me of one thing that's important to remember too when you're doing your dreadlocks. If you, like I just did with this one, I put it all the way out and did it straight out of the head, and now it's going to want to sit like that. So if you're doing them, you want to pull, this is somebody's head, right? You want to pull it down while you're doing it. Like, how can I show you? Let's see. So here's Betty. I'll just do it backwards. But instead of, if you're starting a new dreadlock, you don't want to start like this, especially at the base. When you're just doing the base, you want to go like this as much as possible, just so it's used to sitting down, not standing straight out. And with time, they'll go down anyways. But so you just kind of push the knots up. But at first, it's not fun to get a new head of dreadlocks and then have them all stick straight out. It's kind of like, oh wait, was this a good idea? My hair is sticking straight out of my head. But that's basically all you do, is you just push the knots up. And this is what you get. And you just want to go all the way down. Where'd the one that I was working on go? Where'd you go? Here it is. No, that was not it, was it? Doesn't really matter, I guess, which dreadlock it is. Here it is. So this is all not done, see? And all that, just that little part. But it really only takes like, what, 5 minutes per dreadlock or something like that? Just push, 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 push. Get knots from up here a little more. Get knots, and then push, push, push down until it doesn't really get pushed anymore, really. That's all you do. All the way to the end. And then there's going to be a lot of like whooshies that come out of it, especially down at the end. Like, you can choose what you want to do at the end. Personally, I prefer non-blunted ends, at least for myself personally. But people might like them blunted too. So that's basically it. And you got a lot of like little fizzies right here, right? And I don't know, it depends on how picky you are about it. Eventually they'll end up going in, and but so I would just leave it like that personally, because if you want to go back in there, you can. And like, you have a little teeny crochet hook, a little latch hook. You can go in there and you can take all the loose little hairs and then go through the dreadlock and pull them through, which is a good maintenance trick too. You can do that, you know, it's just going to take a lot more time to get them in your hair. So that would be a good like maintenance thing for some other day or something, if you want to get them nailed out all in one day or something. But that's what I do to my hair right now too. This is how I maintain. You just get all the little ends and then stick them in there, and it's not so fly away-y. Or the best thing to do though, especially after you get a fresh head of dreads, a fresh dread head, is you want to rub the scalp like this. I take my fingers and go around and around and around and around and around. I just do whatever feels natural. So this side I go this way, and this side I go this way. But you just roll it around and around and around, and then you just take it and you twist it the way that feels normal, and then I just go twist it, twist it, twist it. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, hopefully. And then I just do it close to the roots, and I just rub it together in a little. Do it as hard as you can, and then I just twist the whole thing. Just twist it all the way down, and they'll just get used to being together. It's just a fun thing to do when you're in the car waiting for a red light or watching a movie or anytime. Just kind of just roll your hair, and as time passes you won't have to do that. Like mine, you don't have to do that anymore, but it just helps your hair know where to go and just to stay and be not so frizzy. You can always use like a little bit of oil. Like you don't want to do oil too much because oil makes your hair not like be tangly, but if you use like a little bit of tea tree oil, lavender, or any kind of flower oil, like frankincense, whatever you'd prefer, that's a good way to, especially on the scalp, it's good to use oils on the scalp. Anyways, but so that's how you do your dreadlock, and after you're done, you'll have something like this, which it's not like super obvious dreads, but it's definitely the beginning of a really cool journey into the dreadlock days of your life. There's a lot more I could tell you about these things, but I think that's good for now. Just showing you that little method of how I do it. Sometimes you can even do cool twists. I don't know if you can see, like this is a pretty cool twist. I have a couple of those in my hair too. Twisties, they're fun. There's lots of different things you can do. It's really fun to have these things. So yeah, that's how I do my gentle dreadlock style of hair. Make sure that you like my video, because you do, and you should subscribe to my channel because I've got a lot of other things that I am passing on. And tell me in the comments below if you have dreadlocks, or if you're thinking about getting dreadlocks. It can be kind of a scary thing because it's definitely a commitment. So if you want me to tell you any more about my experience with dreadlocks, or with making dreadlocks, or with having dreadlocks, or with, I've done other people's hair too, so just let me know what you'd like to know. I can go over like the parting of the hair sometime, like how to make it part certain ways, or what your choices are there, and I can talk to you about what parts of your head need different size dreadlocks someday. And anyway, so that, yeah, here we go. Here they are. And it's a super fun journey. And comment below and give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Alright, peace out.